Hello all, welcome to BI Courses YouTube channel. In this video, we will see the structure of Power BI service, what all the different objects of Power BI services are, and how business users are provisioned access. Let's start with workspaces. Workspaces serves as containers for interrelated objects such as models, reports, data flows, data marts, etc. Most of the time, a workspace is department or environment specific. One needs to have access to a workspace for using or creating objects. Developers can deploy objects to upper or other workspaces through inbuilt deployment pipelines. Let's see workspaces on Power BI service. Here is a typical Power BI service screen. On the left hand side, we have an icon for workspaces. Underneath that, we will find all the workspaces which we are assigned to or have access to. Let's take the example of batch 7 workspace. Once we click on batch 7 workspace, we can find all the objects which are part of this workspace. We can have either the list view or the lineage view. In the lineage view, we can see how different semantic models are catering multiple reports. For example, a single semantic model ADWorks is responsible for 3 more reports and indirectly responsible for 2 more dashboards. So it's a view where one can easily see or interpret that what dashboards or reports are talking to which all semantic models. We have the option to create new items as well through the new item icon. Underneath new item dialog screen, one can see what all options or what all objects one can create. For example, we can have data marts, data flows, semantic models, and whatnot. So these are different icons available, different options available, which one can use to create different objects, which will indeed be used for creating dashboards or reports, which will be served finally with our business users. Talking about accesses, manage access is one of the is one of the options which can be used to provision access to different members of your own organization. Different accesses include admin, contributor, viewer, and member. So viewer has the least privilege available on a workspace, who can only view different objects but may not be able to create something using the existing objects like semantic model or report. A viewer is also not able to edit any of the objects, while a contributor or member can. Admin, as the name suggests, can do whatever in his capacity on a workspace. That means one can delete, create, edit any of the objects on a workspace. Generally, the admins are less in number. That means a number of persons having admin access on a workspace are few, while most of them being the contributor or member based on their development um, expertise, while viewers are the ones who use the workspace. Coming to deployment pipelines, one can create deployment pipelines. What are deployment pipelines to start with? Deployment pipelines are the ones which are used to deploy your report or dashboard semantic model from one environment to another. Generally, in an organizational setup, we have development, QA or testing, and finally the production workspace. So one can name the pipeline or create pipeline like this: BI Galaxy Dev. or deployment pipeline. You can provide some description which is optional. Hit on next. Dev test production is the norm here. Create and continue. One can assign workspaces. One can assign workspaces like this, batch 7. Another one could be another workspace, and the production one would be the production workspace. So that's how typically a deployment pipeline looks like. Going back to our workspace, once workspace or the dashboard or report are created and set in place, one can update or create an app which is finally used by the business users to view the report. Let's see more on the apps in the next slide. For each workspace, we can have only one app created. Each app can have multiple set of different audiences based on usage or restriction. Row-level security, which is defined in the workspace, is honored here despite the fact that the accesses between the workspace and the related app are mutually exclusive. One can control which objects will be exposed for sharing. Let's see app in more detail. Let's see where can we find the apps. We have a separate icon for apps in Power BI service. Once we click on apps, we will see different Power BI apps available to us. Each app is associated with one of the workspace created by us or available to us. Let's talk about Batch 7 app. We can see just one report hosted in here. Let's go back and try to update this app. We go to Batch 7 workspace, hit on update app. Once we click on update app, we will see something known as content. Here we see that two reports or dashboards are exposed, but once we go to audience, we see that one of them has been hidden. That is the reason why we were just seeing AD works available as the report on Power BI app, Batch 7 app, while the AD works was not. Let's see what we have got in AD works dashboard. Something similar, but let's try to expose it. We hit on update app. Let's go to app, and this time we should be able to see two reports or dashboards, but sometimes it takes a bit of time to appear. We'll try to refresh our screen. Look, we have AD Works dashboard also available to us under Batch 7 app. We'll go back to our workspace, and this time we will try to see what audiences are. We click on update app. We directly go to audience. Under audience, we see two things. One is Batch 7 app, another one is new audience, which means if we want to expose or report to a particular audience only, group of audience only, but not with other audiences who are able to see AD works in this case, then we might be able to create a new audience group which will have exposure to AD works dashboard only, but not vice versa. Let's try to do that. We click on new audience. In the new audience, we will expose only AD works dashboard, while the batch 7 has access to only AD works. So it's vice versa as we see. And we can rename this audience as leadership app. Anything. for now. And some specific users or groups, some specific users can be given access to this leadership app like this. And we hit on update app. Once we update the app, we can again go to the app and try to see. Now you see, previously we were seeing just all, and we had two reports underneath it, batch 7. Now under batch 7 you will see just AD works, while under leadership app you will see just AD works dashboard. Person, assigned person to batch 7 app will be able to see just batch 7 app. He or she who doesn't have access to leadership app won't be able to see this leadership app at all. And same applies for the leadership app as well. The person who is assigned to leadership app won't be able to see batch 7 app in the first place. So that's how access on Power BI app works. We can revisit on a workspace. When we hit on update app, all the accesses or visibility is controlled by something known as audience. We can add email ID or the AD groups distribution list over here. We can have as many audiences as we want. There is no such limitation on number of audiences. The content decides what all contents to be included. As you would have seen, the batch 7 workspace has got a lot of contents, isn't it? These all are the contents of batch 7 workspace, but only a few of them is exposed to the business users, because we as a developer cannot allow business users to see all the developmental work which is going on. It's not of their use in the first place, and they really do not want to see this mess. The best way to expose or to share the report with them is through the apps. And if we want to increase or include one more report to our app, we can do so by adding the content. For example, let's include the ad hoc report also. So we include ad hoc report. In the audience, we again get a chance to decide that under batch 7 or under leadership app, this ad hoc report will appear. I want it to appear under batch 7 app, but not under the leadership app. We click on update app again. Once the app is updated, we go to the app, and under batch 7, let me refresh. It takes a bit of time. Yeah. So we see under batch 7 app, we have AD works and ad hoc report, while the leadership app have AD works dashboard only. Why? I am able to see everything under all because I am the creator of the app. I have access to everything. But the persons who are exclusively assigned to an app will have access to what he or she is allowed to view. Now we know how Power BI service works. We saw Power BI service from a developer standpoint. There is another lens through which Power BI service can be viewed, which happens to be as an administrator. As the name suggests, it administers the Power BI service, including but not limited to capacity planning, data gateway creation, and many more. Before you go, please like, comment, subscribe, and share our videos. See you in the next video tutorial. Thank you.